I thought it was just gonna be a normal ride home. Just a quiet moment to myself.
But then, they walked in. The kind of boys who think the world is just a playground for their mischief.
Being the only girl in a confined space with a group of rowdy guys, and the air instantly felt heavier.
And then, the worst possible thing happened. We were stuck. To them, it was a joke, a chance to show off. They didn't care how terrified I was. Every second felt like an hour. I felt completely stripped of my dignity, cornered by their cruelty. Panic set in. It wasn't just the small space, it was the sheer vulnerability of being alone in a room full of boys who had zero empathy. I couldn't hold it in anymore. The walls were closing in, and their taunts were the breaking point.
That's when the atmosphere shifted. The reality of what they were doing finally pierced through their arrogant teenage bubble.
Hey, we're sorry. We didn't mean to scare you. Really.
An apology doesn't instantly fix trauma, but it was a start. Here, cover up. We won't bother you.
It was a small gesture, but it meant everything in that terrifying moment. A shift from predators to protectors. I took it, and just like that, the claustrophobic wall they had built around me dissolved. They finally gave me space.
Hello? We're stuck in car 4. Is anyone there?
Their arrogant energy turned into desperate problem-solving. They knew they had crossed a line.
Hey, chill out. Don't freak her out more.
For the first time, I saw them checking each other. The peer pressure had flipped. Minutes turned into what felt like hours. The silence in the dark was heavy, but it was no longer threatening.
I've got a little sister. If you guys treated her the way we just treated you, I'd break their jaws.
I'm so sorry. He finally saw me as a person, not a punchline. I didn't say it was okay, because it wasn't. But I knew they wouldn't hurt. And then, just as the tension had finally broken, the power surged back.
Yes, we're moving! The nightmare was ending. The metal box was finally taking us up.
When the doors finally opened, they didn't rush out. They stepped back. They let me go first. Stepping out into the light felt like waking up from a fever dream.
You can keep it if you want.
No, I'm okay now. It wasn't a friendship. It was a mutual understanding that a line had been crossed and respected. The fresh air never felt so good. I was safe. I was out. Going to school the next day, I didn't know what to expect. Would they go back to being bullies? Then, I saw them, grouped up by the lockers, just like they always were. But they didn't laugh. They didn't sneer. They just moved.
Morning.
It was a tiny victory, but a loud one. Sometimes it takes a terrifying situation to hold up a mirror to people, to show them the monsters they're pretending to be.
They learned their lesson, and I learned that I'm much stronger than I ever thought.
Hey, Twin Tails! Why are you sitting all by yourself?
It's funny how quickly that trapped feeling can come rushing right back.
Back off! Now! All right, man, chill out. We were just joking. It's not funny. Walk away!
They didn't stick around to play the heroes. They just did what was right and left. That's when I realized the lesson they learned in that dark elevator actually stuck. They had changed. Sometimes, the boys who act the worst are just the ones who have never had to face the real-world consequences of their actions. Seeing someone's genuine fear shatters the illusion. It forces you to look in the mirror and ask, am I the bad guy?
I used to walk home looking over my shoulder, afraid of the boys who thought fear was funny.
But now, that fear was gone, replaced by a strange kind of mutual respect. Safety isn't just about being behind a locked door. It's about how you feel out in the world. When boundaries are enforced, relationships completely transform. The power dynamic shifts from dominance to equality. It doesn't mean you have to be best friends. It just means you agree to exist in the same space without causing harm. Several weeks went by. The school year settled into a comfortable, predictable routine.
Is this seat taken?
No.
Sometimes, life forces you back into close quarters.
There was no awkwardness, no jokes, just a mutual, silent agreement to be normal. I noticed the little things, how he made sure not to crowd my side of the table, how he listened when I spoke. An apology is just words, but changed behavior? That is the only real proof of remorse.
When the class ended, we packed up our things in sync.
Thanks for the help on the lab. See ya.
Bye. Bye.
Life moved on. The heavy shadow of that elevator ride completely dissolved.
Good boy. Good catch.
I was back to being just a girl, not a target, not a victim.
Yo, little help?
And when our paths did cross, the dynamic was completely rewritten. There was no fear, no hesitation.
Thanks.
Just a silent, shared understanding of exactly where the lines were drawn.
Because at the end of the day, teaching empathy is the most powerful thing we can do. You don't have to be big to be strong. You just have to know your worth and never let anyone make you forget it. To any girl who has ever felt trapped or small, remember this. Your boundaries are an unbreakable shield. When you refuse to shrink yourself, you force others to step back. And sometimes, holding that line is exactly what it takes to teach someone the empathy they were missing. You deserve to take up space. You deserve to be safe. Never be afraid to tell your story, because someone out there needs to hear it. And never forget, you are never as stuck as you think you are. If this story helped you, hit the like button and subscribe for more 3D animated stories.